Hey, it's Tuesday, December 1st, and you're watching The Great Lost Rewatch. Today we're watching the Season 2 episode 2 for the Road. This is an Ana Lucia-centric episode. So I guess we can start out with the flashback, because I found it to be very interesting. It was Ana Lucia has quit her job at the police station, is working as airport security when she meets Christian Shepherd. And he offers to take her to Australia as his bodyguard. So he doesn't even give her his name. He says, let's make names for each other. So he calls her Sarah, and she says he looks like a Tom, so she calls him Tom. Which is kind of funny, because those are both of the names of the significant others of Christian's children. So Sarah is Jack's wife, and Tom is Claire's baby daddy. So anyway, they spend a couple days drunk in Australia when Christian knocks on Ana Lucia's door in the middle of the night and says, it's time for you to do your bodyguard work. And she drives him to a house in the middle of the suburbs of Sydney, and he walks up to the house and demands to see his daughter. He pays for the mortgage on that house. He wants to see his daughter. I know there was a lot of speculation when this episode came out that Claire was his daughter, and that turns out to be true. Spoiler alert! So back on the island, things have gotten really tense. Ana Lucia is giving Henry some food, and he kind of tricks her into coming close, and he starts to beat her up really hardcore. He calls her a killer. You killed two of my people. They weren't even doing anything to you. There's a fine line there. Sure, they weren't doing anything to Ana Lucia herself, but her people, the people she was with, the people she cared about, yes. Henry says he was coming for luck. Is this true? Well, I guess we never really find out. I really think this is the first time that we see Ben Linus. I know we don't know that it's Ben Linus, but I think he's starting to drop the Henry facade. And we're really seeing Benjamin Linus at his finest here. Jack and Kate bring Michael back to the hatch, and he is convinced that they can go get him. They can go get Walt. They can take the others. They're mostly old. They're living in teepees, in huts. They are worse off than they are, so he says. So he thinks. They only have 2 guns, which we know isn't true, because in the hunting party they took more than 2 guns. So I don't know why they fell for that. Jack and Kate and Sayid have gone to Sawyer to get the guns, and Sawyer has had sex with Ana Lucia, and she's stolen his gun from him, his personal one, while he's got his pants off. And P.S., the scene after they're done having sex, Sawyer's posing on a rock. Super cheesy looking. Okay? Super cheesy looking. Sawyer figures out that Ana has taken his gun. Locke says, Jack, I need to tell you something, and he tells him he's figured out that Anna's going to try to shoot Ben because she's got the gun. He tried to kill her earlier. Michael says, I'll do it. And in a very moving scene at the end, Ana Lucia has her monologue at the end there about how she couldn't do it when it came down to it. Michael says, I'm sorry, and shoots her. And then Libby walks in, and he shoots her, and then he opens up the armory and lets Henry out and shoots himself in the arm. And there's no dialogue after Libby, says Michael, and gets shot. It's just very tense and very poignant. And I remember the first time I saw this episode, I was like sitting at the edge of my seat like, oh my god, what's going on? Like, I couldn't believe it. I am a spoiler girl. I will admit to that. I read spoilers pretty frequently. I did not know this was coming. It was so, like, it blew my mind. Like, I can't even describe. Back in Leslie's episode for Abandon, when she played Brandon's phone call and he's like freaking out. That's how I was for this episode. Anyway, that's where we're gonna leave it, with Michael shooting himself in the arm. Leslie, you're back tomorrow with the episode Question Mark, which, a little bit of trivia, was supposed to be directed by Darren Aronofsky, but it fell through, I think, because Rachel Weisz was about to give birth. So anyway, We'll see you tomorrow, Leslie. Bye.
We're gonna need to watch that again.
In the episode SOS, did you notice the cookies that Rose had were called Dharmalars? That's where the Dharmalars podcast got their name. I thought it was funny.